My name is Sherilyn, and I want to talk to you today about 5 reasons why you should store food that have absolutely nothing to do with current events. So if you are on the fence about whether or not you should store additional food in your house, or if you are someone who stores food but you're having trouble convincing other people that perhaps it would be a good idea for them to store food, this would be a nice video to share with them. Now normally my videos are lighthearted, but today I'm just on a little more serious note, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I do have some notes here on my phone, so you'll see me looking down from time to time. I want to preface this also by saying we have many different types of insurance. You know, you pay for health insurance, although you never plan to get sick, but you have it just in case. You pay for fire and flood insurance on your home, even though it's never in your wildest dreams would you imagine your house would burn down or that it would be swept away in a flood, but yet you still have the insurance. You have life insurance, even though you probably plan on living to a ripe old age, and you know, no one wants to think about that. We don't think about that, but we have the life insurance just in case. And I just want to talk to you about having a food storage sort of as an insurance policy, and I'm going to go from my personal life and share with you about 5 reasons why we should have food stored as an insurance policy. First and foremost, any health emergency. In 2011, everything was fine. I had no food storage. I was going to work all the time. I was healthy as a horse. I was in the gym all the time. All my numbers were great. Never would I thought I would have a health emergency. But then one day I just started getting sick, and I ended up a few days later in the hospital for emergency surgery. And that put me out for 2 weeks. I had 1 week paid time off, so there I was 1 week behind. Then the lab results from that surgery came back, and they weren't really good, so I had to go have a radical surgery, which put me out of work for 4 weeks, and then I could only return part-time, and I had no more paid time off. So now we're talking about 5 weeks of missed work. I'm a single woman, single income household. Even if you're a married couple, one person losing their income in the house for 5 weeks can really put a crimp in your plans. And I remember the feeling of laying on the couch in a daze from the pain medication, trying to figure which bills I could put off for a month, and writing this scarce, minimal grocery list for my son to take to the grocery store and use my debit card and buy groceries. But I still didn't learn my lesson, and I did not store extra food. Then let's talk about number 2, job loss. I worked at the same company for 12 years. I started hearing the still small voice, and some of you will know what I'm talking about. The still small voice, and I felt this urgency to begin to store some food, and I felt like I really needed 3 months worth of food. To make a very long story short, the company I worked for fell in very hard times. They downsized, and I no longer had a job. I had started my small business, which I now run from home, and it's sufficient, and I'm self-employed and very happy, but that business was so brand new, it took 3 months to be able to have enough money from the business to pay myself. So while I was having to try to secure a loan from family to float me a little bit until I could pay it back, that was very embarrassing. Nobody ever wants to have to do that. And fortunately for me, I had listened to the still small voice about 6 months earlier, and I had 3 months of food put away, and we were okay. We could eat. Okay, number 3, any sort of a natural disaster. This would be a reason why you would need shelf-stable food. So many of us shop weekly for things that end up in our freezer and our refrigerator, and we don't really have a lot of shelf-stable foods. Canned meat, canned beans, canned soups, things such as that. We had a hurricane that came through in 2017, and I was without electricity for 8 days. I lost all the food in my refrigerator. At that point, I still was not storing a lot of shelf-stable food. I had to go stay with family, and fortunately, they stored shelf-stable food, and they had a food storage, and they never missed a beat. On the other hand, my house was empty, devoid of food, except peanut butter sandwiches. And they get old fast. Number 4, helping others. You may not think about it because, we live in a pretty blessed society, and a lot of people seem to be able to make it. But can I tell you that in the last 2 months, there have been 3 actually separate families. One person had their hours cut at work, and then they had a big expense coming up, and they were strapped. It felt so good to be able to go into my food storage and give them a couple weeks worth of groceries. Another person had lost their job. The one person in the house had lost the job, and they were strapped on one income. It felt so great to be able to go into my freezer and into my food pantries and be able to give them a couple of weeks worth of food. These are people that are in my heart. And another person is going through some medical treatment. Love hearing them say, I can't be working right now, and I might, but if I get strapped, I know that you'll be there for me. And that feels good. Like I said, these are all people in my heart. Number 5, financial emergency. Perhaps your car will break down. Perhaps you'll be like me. Just a few months ago, my water heater went out, and it was $975 to have a new water heater put in. No one wants to have to go to a family member and ask for a loan. No one wants to have to put yet another charge on your credit card. But what if you had to, if you didn't have $975 just lying around, what if you had to borrow some of that, and now you have to fit in paying that person back or paying the credit card back, and that's just a pain in the, you know what. So how about if you didn't have to spend $200 this week on groceries? How about if you could take the money you normally allow for your grocery budget and apply it toward whatever the financial need is that you have? That's another reason that your food storage becomes like a savings account for you. Because at any given time, when you have 3 months, 4 months worth of food put away in your house, then you know that for that given period of time, you're going to have to spend minimal money on groceries, and you can automatically take the money you would normally spend on groceries and put it toward whatever the financial need may be. I hope this video finds you all very blessed and very healthy and in very good shape in all areas of life. But I do want you to think about this. Why not start now? Why not start by buying an extra bag of rice, an extra bag of beans? Why not buy an extra bag of flour? Why not buy an extra few boxes of pasta and pasta sauce? Why not put some canned meat on your shelf? Why not? You're not going to be considered a hoarder. You're not going to be considered a panicked prepper. You're not going to be considered anything bad. So why not? I've given you 5 reasons that have nothing to do with current events. I have some older videos on how to start saving food and how to properly store food if you're interested. I hope you check those out. And I really, really wish the best for you guys. Bye.